Hi guys, I am today going to show you my method for doing the Buffalo Plaid Cup. I don't know if you can pick it up or not. This one is a huge color shift between green and orange, and it's lovely, and it's called Fall Leaves, and it is the perfect color for fall. And this one's also it's called Drizzling Mist. But if you notice, the mixed squares are lying flat and the other ones are raised up, so it's more of a texture cup as well as a color cup. So I am going to show you how I did this. So some of the supplies that you're going to need are a paintbrush, popsicle sticks, the Tack It Over and Over paint or glue. It's a repositionable adhesive, so you just need to be able to reposition it when and so it's sticky when it's dry. You're going to need a matte clear primer to seal it, and you're going to need two colors of glitter. This time I'm doing a red and a really dark gray, and some tape to tape it off. So the very first thing you're going to do is make a mixture of about 50% Tack It Over and Over and 50% water, just to thin it out. I already have this pre-made in a little container here, so there's lots to do, lots and lots of cups here. And you're also going to want to mix your two glitters together. So this is a mixture of the red and the black. Some say 50-50, some say 60-40. I just put one in and put the other in until it looks really good and leave it at that. So the first thing we're going to do, I use these straight-sided mugs because they're straight-sided. Makes it a lot easier when doing a plaid pattern to have straight sides. I've painted this one black because I painted the other one black. I don't know that had anything to do with the color shift or not, but it's just what I went with. So you're just going to take a little bit of your glue mixture, and like by a little bit, just tip the very edges of the brush in, and you're going to brush it on your cup. As you can see, because this is a black base, you can see it's white. It might appear kind of greenish under this light, but you can see that it's very white, and you want to cover the whole entire cup with this paint, or not this paint, this glue. You want to paint the glue onto the cup all over everywhere, including the handle, and make sure you have a good even coat all over everywhere. That's important. Not anything we can't fix later if we need to, but it's important to get a nice, smooth, all over everything layer. Make sure you get all of the sides of the handles. The barrel cups have a rounder handle than these ones, so these ones are kind of squared off. And you just tip the end of your brush in and paint her on. Get all the nooks and crannies. Make sure you also get the bottom. If we need to, we can go back in after we burnish our glitter to recoat it if necessary. Now, after you get it all on as evenly as you can, it's going to start to dry, and when it dries, it's clear. You do not have to do this right away. This is more of a patience game than it is anything else, because if you start trying to burnish your glitter into this right now, you're going just to make a royal mess. So we're going to set this aside until it is completely clear and sticky. So after about 10-15 minutes, it's clear, and you can hear it sticks just a little bit. It's like the glue on a Post-it note or on your Cricut mat. I left a giant fingerprint right there. That's not so great, but we'll work with it. This I actually painted on last night, so it dries clear. You don't have to race to get anything onto it. So we're just going to put this away so we don't get that all full of glitter. And I'm just going to stick this in some water and get rid of the popsicle stick. Okay, so I've got my mixed color in my cup. I'm just going to start putting it on. I'm over parchment paper, so because glitter doesn't really like to stick to parchment paper, so that's a good thing. And I'm just going to keep putting it on. This is a very pretty color. These colors are from M & Cat. Wine red and something storm, I think, or is it? I can't remember. Deep space. So I'm just sprinkling. Get it all on there. Oh look, we ran out. So I'm just gonna whack it. That is, I could do just that color. It's so pretty. I'm going to take my parchment paper and I'm going to dump my color. I'll straight into there. Have to mix some more here. So let's just start. No, I'm not going to start the burnishing process. I'm going to set this back down. I want as few holes in this as possible before I begin here, so. Handle. Make sure I have all of the sides of my handle. Oh, it's so pretty. And I'm just going to do this. I'm going to pick it up. Sprinkle it on like that. Okay, so the burnishing part is the fun part. It all, see how it goes when it all lays flat? So, now you can do this with any glitter. Any glitter, you can do this. It will stick. You can use this as an adhesive for anything. You will not get the holographic effect for any glitters unless you have a holographic glitter. So don't put just a regular old glitter on a cup with the Tack method, which is what this is called, and expect that when you rub it, it's going to all of a sudden become holographic, because this one is, and it's lovely, and you probably can't see it, but so I'm brushing all of this. You can see there are places where the black is coming through, and that's okay. It's not going to stay that way because we're going to fix it, but I think I need to mix a little bit more glitter first and try and get my balance out. note to self, always, always, always make sure you have more than enough when you're mixing two colors together. You see, it happens. I just didn't get as good a coat in that spot as I should have done of the glue. So, no big deal. Nothing. Nobody's gonna die. Nobody got hurt. It's not that important. People stress about it so much and then they feel like epic failures. That's not you, because it can be fixed. I love this color. So you see, we got all these spots that leave a little to be desired. You can see how it's all lying so nice and flat. So what we're gonna do is I am going to clean up my mat and get my glue back. All right, so I got my glue back now, and I am just going to go over any spots. And you see where it's a little streaky? There's a whole big hole right there that clearly I missed. So we're just going to go over any spots that show through black with the Tack It again. So I'm just going to do another layer in those spots, and we're going to wait for it to dry fully before we put any more glitter on there, because it turns into a mess when it's wet. Just as evenly as you can, just go over any spot. Well, I'm just going to go over the whole thing at this point, but go over any spots that you missed. Because you didn't have enough glue there. That's the only reason that happens. You don't need a heavy coat. You never need a heavy coat. You just need enough. And tacky glue might be what you think of when you think of the Tack It method. It does not work. It's a glue. It's just a straight, regular, everyday sticky glue that is sticky when it's wet, but when it's dry it is not. So I think I've got this all covered again. So now we just have to wait. So just remember, where it's white, it's wet. It's a little harder to tell when you have a white base. So I'm all dry now, so I'm just going to fill in my gaps and see what happens when I start to burnish the glitter again. I made up some more of my color, and hopefully it's going to blend properly, because that's usually what happens with mixed colors. If you don't mix enough, you can't ever get exactly the same thing again, but we're hopeful. Okay, and I'm going to get into here. Set. Get there. Not quite there. I'm just going to do this. Just knock off anything that's loose. And make sure you're covering everything. Make sure there are no wet spots, because what is going to happen, and this is where I think most people feel like failures, is if you have a wet spot where it is white and you try to burnish it, you're going to drag the wet with you, and you're going to lift glitter that you've already got even laying down. So you would just want to make extra specially sure that you do not have anything hindering that process. This is a messy process, by the way, and glitter flying all over the place. So see, we did a second coat. We made sure that there was no white. And it is burnishing up beautifully. And you would never know. And you just want to make sure everything is laying down flat, flat, flat. You can see the holographic in this. Maybe you can't. It's always so hard to tell with these videos. Handle inside. And make sure you don't have any loose glitter, and it's just all laying nice and flat. So that is your mixed color right there. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to take it downstairs to my basement to do, because that's where I do my spray painting. I'm now going to go and seal it and let it dry really good, because we do not want, when we put tape over this, we do not want any of this lifting back up again. So we're going to seal it down to make sure that it is not going anywhere. So I will be right back. Okay, we have completed this phase of the cup, and it looks pretty great with the black and the red mixed. Now we are going to start taping it off. This being a flat cup makes it so much easier. I should have burnished it a little bit better. So what I'm going to use here is the 1-inch delicate surface. Always backwards here. So it's 1 inch wide, and it's the purple one, and it's for delicate surfaces. I would imagine regular painter's tape would work. I just didn't want to risk peeling up any of my glitter when I do this. So that's one spot. So what I found works the best for me is starting on the bottom. And when I start on the bottom, I put the edge of the tape right on the bottom of my cup, and I wrap it. It's delicate surface, so it doesn't stick very well. It sticks enough for what we need, but you can't be pulling on it. Maybe not leave so much of a tail. So you just want a nice even line all the way around the bottom. Hold it as you go. As you can see, we're losing a little bit of glitter, but it's kind of minimal. And we're just going to hold it along the bottom. Now, because of where this handle is, a little bit of a dip down, not a big deal for this particular cup. We're just going to keep dragging this along the bottom until we reach the edge. And you can tell that you've got a straight line when your tape lines up like that. So we're just going to tear it. I always fold my edges, because it makes it so much easier to find, and you want to make sure you fold your edges so they're going to continue your straight line. So just maybe just pull down the corner of it like that, because you need to have the straight line in order for your plaid to be straight. Okay, so we're just going to press this all down and around. So that's our starting line. Now I'm going to make a little one. And I'm going to line it up really well. Just butt it right up against this line of tape so you can't even hardly tell that there's going to be tape there. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing over here on the other side. Not by the handle where it dips down. This is our guide. This is our marker. This is where we make sure we get a straight line. So now I'm going to start this just under the handle here, and I'm going to line up this tape. Just make sure it's butted up. Press it down. As you come around, make sure this one is also in a straight line like that. And make sure you line up your tape. I left a little bit more than I needed for a tail there. Just want to make sure, there you go, like that. You do not need all this tape is a little hard to rip than other tapes. Don't need all of that. Fold in the corners. So you have yourself a tab, but it's not going to interfere with your line. And see, this line is just going to be inside of the handle, so it's not a big deal. Now we're going to move our markers. So you can see a little bit of the glitter is coming up, but it's not actually impacting much. I'm going to line this up here. Now you can see that this line is not going to be as big as this line and this line, but that's okay. And it's the nature of a buffalo plaid. I guess I should be making sure that you can see what I'm doing here. So again, with the tape, I'm going to put it up against the line of the tape that's already there. Press it on. Make sure that that's all good. And again, we are good to go. We'll start off at this one right here. Press it down really well, pull it around, make sure it lines up, and just even turn the cup if you're holding the cup in the air. Press it down and make sure it lines up, and it's beautiful. This is the easy part. Here we go. Tear that. Tuck in the corner. You can tuck this all under. It's not going to be on there long enough to worry about, so, well, no, actually you need to tuck that under. We're just going to set our markers aside. Tuck these edges in. Set our markers aside. So now we have our horizontal lines. Our bottom is going to stay solid. And our handle, if you want to fuss around with making the stripe, you'd have to do it all the way around, and I leave the handle and the bottom the mixed color. So now I've got these horizontal lines, I need to make vertical lines. And the easiest way that I have found to do this job, I need to press that down a little bit better. You need to make sure you do that because you don't want glue getting up under your tape and it'll mess up your lines. So you need to make sure, sorry I'm off camera, you need to make sure you're pressed down really, really well on all of your edges. And so this cup is 11 inches around. I tried doing this and marking and then just peeling every other. Trouble is, this is an inch. This is 11 inches around. It's an odd number. It doesn't work. So the easiest way I have found is I'm going to try to get it. So I'm in half this way. And I'm just gonna, it's not going straight. Try and go straight across. Once you get the first one, it's not so bad. Go straight across the top. Leave yourself enough room, and then just kind of play around until you have what appears to your eye to be a straight line that's parallel to the handle. And we can just fold that over the bottom. Doesn't matter, we're not using it, but that's okay. And then we're going to straighten out this line so it also looks like it's straight with the handle. You can get all fussy with this. You just want it to appear that way with your eyes. Just tear off your tape, press it down really well. I'm not exactly straight here. Because if you are straight, your tape will line up. That's close enough for what I need here. Okay, so my tape is mostly lined up. This is not an exact science, people. As soon as you start making things like this an exact science, you drive yourself crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna rip these. No, I'm not gonna do that yet. So now you're just gonna go, same thing. And you're gonna go, so you have even triangles on your top here, an inch-ish apart. Again, it is not an exact science. You just want your triangles to look kind of even. It's being right beside the handle helps a little bit because you can make sure you're straight with the handle on this one. That works. And so I have two of my squares right there. And I'm going to come across. My triangles are not exactly even here. Thereabouts-ish. It's a little easier to see the squares that are forming. See how nicely that lined up right there? Again, you want a tab. I'm going to put one on the other one. Doesn't so much matter where you put it because this bottom part is not going to be affected by anything. And so you can guess that this other one is just going to make a star, like an asterisk. Okay. And on the bottom, looks pretty straight. And my squares look pretty even. Look at that. Look at how nicely that lines up right there. Just remember, you guys are watching me here, so keep my things underneath your eyes. Okay, so we have all these nice squares. We're just going to make sure we press down all of our edges. And make sure the corners are all connected, because you're actually putting tape over glitter here, so now I'm going to change things. That's just a little off, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to change things up just a little bit here. I am going to cut through here because it just makes things easier to hold on to if I don't have to worry about this tape. So I'm just going to press each one of these down in. Just makes it easier to hold on. So now I'm leaving my handle and the bottom this lovely red color. I'm going. You can continue on with the tack it method. For just put the tack it on, wait for it to dry, then apply your glitter. My original cup, I was planning on doing the tack it method for the whole thing, and it just was not looking the way I wanted it to, so I changed gears. And it's a lot of waiting when you're waiting for tack it to dry unnecessarily. So I'm just gonna shoot some Mod Podge into there and grab a brush. I can't hang on to anything in my life, just ask anybody who knows me. So I'm gonna just start here, and I'm just gonna brush the Mod Podge on, making sure it gets into every square on evenly, and making sure I'm not adding any hair to this thing. I'm sure anybody who's searching for these videos has seen this method a bajillion times already, so I will be as quick as I can. You don't want it gloppy, you want a nice even amount on each square, and you want it evenly placed. Okay, and I'm just going to do a couple at a time so that things don't get out of hand on me. I'm going to take my black glitter. I guess this is more of a dark gray. Oh, that would be a catastrophe. My lid isn't screwed on. And just cover in the squares. Make sure you get them all covered. Quite get it all in there. You can press it down into the glue. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to hurt anything. Because you want to make sure that you have all of the red covered, which is why the tack it method did not work for me, because it would not cover all of the red. You need, well, at least most of it covered into the corners. And I'm going to make a big mess. I just know it. Okay. Whack that off. a teeny bit of red peeking through, but not too bad. Not enough that you're likely going to notice once we actually get the red on there. And you don't want your glitter pooling up on the edge, or your glue pooling up on the edges. You want it to be there, but you don't want it pooling, because it's going to make your tape all way too soft. Okay. Make sure that's pressed in there. I should be using my glove. This is why my husband gets mad at me, because I'm always walking around with glitter all over me. Because I don't wear my apron and I don't wear my glove. Okay, so again, glue. This goes much quicker when you're using Mod Podge than the tacky glue, because that's what I used for the last one. I was just like, why am I sitting here watching this thing dry for 15 minutes at a time? Mark off as much as you can. The only one that's tricky is around the handle. And it would make more sense from an aesthetics point of view to have the handle coming up out of the square color, or have it be the color of the square it's coming out of. That would make a lot more sense, but then the handle, you can make the handle gray or black or whatever color it is that you're choosing to be your dark. You could certainly do that. I've just chosen to not do that. And really, in the grand scheme of things, who is going to notice? Okay. So we just want to surround the handle without getting any on the handle. A little bit of lift right there, which makes it a bit tricky. I'm just going to do this one right now. Press it in just so it all sticks. Let's see, I have a little bit right there. In the corner. And here we go, last square of this color. This part actually goes a lot more quickly than you would think. And you're looking at this going, how on earth am I going to do that? Once you get your lines painted or taped, it is so super quick. Okay, press that all in. There are all my black squares, or my dark squares, whatever you want to call them. Oh, don't notice this glitter, look how sparkly that is. So super sparkly. This is called Deep Space and then Cat. I'm sorry if my voice keeps cutting out. I just am not used to talking to myself like this. Okay, oops. I'll just do this and cover that up. Alrighty, now comes the fun part. We are going to peel up the tape. It's helpful if I'm working where you can see me. We had a little underbleed there. That's okay, there's no glitter on it, so that works, that's fine, because we're just gonna just wipe that off. Here's where we need to get a little bit more precise with things. And this is maybe the most intimidating part of the whole shebang, because you have to do it now manually. One more. This is going to drive me absolutely around the bend, so we're just going to tuck that under the leg there. Okay, so we're going to peel up our tape. There's places where the glue got under. That's okay, it's not the end of the world. The hard part about using a delicate surface tape on glitter is it doesn't necessarily all stick as much as you'd like it to. Let's see how nice and precise those squares are. Okay, so that little octopus goes away. Alright, so because this is an odder shape, or not an odd shape, but because it's an odd number around, you get these look a little bit more rectangular. That's okay. Nobody's going to know the difference. So all of these spots here are going to remain the color that they are, because the solid colors need to go kitty corner like a checkered board. So I'm going to get this brush, which has had glue on it one too many times, in the spots that the glue bled under, and just kind of try and get rid of it, because it's going, there is no glitter going here, and we don't want the red glitter to stick along the edge. So I'm going to try and get rid of as much of it as we can anyway. Especially that one's a big one right there. So I'm going to try to take it off as much as we can. We don't need to get fussy with it, but we need to try. It's just Mod Podge. Mod Podge is water-based, so, and it will dry clear, so it's not a big, huge deal. I just don't want, when we start sprinkling our red on here, we don't want the red to stick in our lovely mixed area here. If we can at all help it. I think that takes care of most of it. Okay, so now spend all this time taping these things and you just have to rip it right off again. So here we go. Find the edge what did I do with the edge here? And the edge. And peel that away. Again, we have a little bit of underbleed. It's not such a big deal. If you can avoid it, it's better to avoid doing it in the first place, but okay, tear that off. What I'm doing there. Get myself a little overzealous here. If you like the look of that, you can keep it like that. It does not truly pop. Okay, I'm just gonna, let me just clean that up just a little bit, make sure. I have a fluffy brush here, so I'm just gonna make sure there's no black in the corners that I want to be just red. Okay, so I'm going to set this over here for a second to get rid of this. Gray. Oops. Yeah, get rid of it all over myself. Hang on, I'm just going to get another piece of parchment because I made a mess. These colors mixing now. Okay. Now comes the fun part. This is where it really comes together and starts to pop. So I have all of these checkers in here, all of these square spaces. So all of these square spaces, we need to make square spaces in all of them. So we're going to need a bit more glue, I think. So grab some Mod Podge and start on the bottom, and just it's important to use a straight brush for this. Just tap as straight a line as you can from corner to corner underneath the dark color and brush down. Oh, could have done a bit better job lining things up. Again, you do not need to be precise exactly. So from corner to corner, underneath, crossing down, just straight down. You just do it to the best of your ability and eyesight. And here you'll notice some of them are a little wider than others. And I could let my OCD perfectionist Miranda come in and say, no, you have to redo it. She does not live in my craft room. She lives in my office. a bookkeeper. You don't want it to fan out too much though. You don't want it to be an awful unbalanced mess. You just want it to be as close as you can. And try as hard as you can to make your line straight. The more pressure you put on your brush, the more it's going to fan out and make a mess. And my glue's already drying over here, so I better stop talking and start gluing here. Alrighty. So and you want even, you don't want lumpy. So I'm just gonna go over this one again. We're gonna take our red. And this is where the magic happens. Because you don't think about this until you do this, and it's like, oh wow, that couldn't be more perfect. And just cover it all in. Everywhere you got glue. Take our fluffy brush and do the in-betweens. And you know where the in-betweens are by where the gray ones are. And maintain that flatness and the mixed color that we already worked so hard for. That. Beautiful. Okay, bring back my glue, and so corner to corner in between the grays. As straight a line as you can get. If that's, you have to brace yourself with your pinky and draw a square and then fill it in. That works. From here I'll probably only do 2 squares at a time because it just takes a little bit more time to make each square. Okay. Brush and glue a little bit out of the way here, and my red on there. Oh, he's such a pretty red. Thank you, Amy, for such a pretty red. I ordered a surprise box, and my instructions were, I want to make buffalo plaid, and this is what she sent me. She is amazing. Okay. You don't need to coat your whole brush, just the tips. This would make a really great Santa suit, this combination. Dry fluffy brush. So you can see the contrast in there. Oh, it looks so good. So probably went a little too far with that one there. I'll just make that back a little bit. That's okay. I know this is really boring watching me do this, isn't it? Okay. Sometimes the handle just gets a little bit in the way. That's it for that. We're almost done. Fluffy brush. If you do it right away, it doesn't set up any spots that you don't necessarily want. This one needs to kind of come underneath here. Alrighty, now we're hitting the home stretch. And so corner to quarter again, just like the bottom. Just a little further than I wanted it to there. Okay, so get that on there before it dries. You see that contrast? Can you pick that up? The different levels? How it's fluffy and flat? That is what I was going for. And that appearance actually stays under the epoxy. This isn't a color shift like the fall leaves, but it sure is a pretty holographic. There we go, one more spot. One more spot. just gonna touch up along the edge here. That was okay. You notice some of them didn't go quite all the way down. And just make sure that they all do. That's why I put all this work into something and then leave it unfinished. Alrighty. Lock it. Clean it up. Not any flat spots. Make sure they stay flat. Have the fluffy glitter creeping in. Oh, this looks so nice. I am a big fan of Buffalo Plaid. And do I think a purple one next. Now you can seal this, and if you want to do a plaid instead of a buffalo plaid, this is a buffalo plaid. You leave it as it is if you want to do a buffalo plaid. Buffalo plaid is a very simple pattern. Very simple old pattern, but if you want to go the extra above and beyond, see this? Do you see this? Look at that. If you want to go the extra above and beyond, you can. I would epoxy it first, a layer. So let's bring in my orange one here, my orange and gray. I really wish you could see the color shift on this. It is such a fantastic color shift. Can you see that? I'm trying to remember where my light was, so I was hoping that would. Oh, there it is. You can see it's orange and it's green. So there's green, and here it's orange. Put a layer of epoxy on it, and you can still tell that it is. Even though it's smooth, you can tell that it's flat in spots and raised up in spots. So you still get that textured look. But if you wanted to take it to another level with the plaid, you can take 1/8 inch double stick tape and cut it just short of the top. You don't want it hanging out at the top because it's going to make it harder for you to do your edge. But just short of the top edge and down the middle of your things, and then do even a gold or something, another color, contrasting or whatever, or you can make your clan colors or whatever. But yeah, that is the Buffalo Plaid, both in orange for fall leaves and now the red. Look at how sparkly that is. I cannot wait to get a layer of epoxy on this, because this one really picked up when I put epoxy on it. But there you go. If I could be of help, that's great. And this is, again, my method for doing the Buffalo Plaid using the Tack for the middle color. Thanks for watching.